Hello everyone. I'd like to talk to you about an idea for music at home. This is all about sensory songs. You're familiar with sensory stories where you provide sensory experience to the children to make the stories easier to understand, more meaningful and more real to them. So this is a similar thing done in song. This is verse 2. What can you hear?
What can you hear? What can you hear? I can hear the seagulls when they're flying near.
I've noticed at the moment there's lots of land gulls outside, so you could always, if it's a really nice sunny day, get your paddling pool out, go and sit outside, listen to the land gulls and sing the song while the land gulls are overhead as you go. What can you hear? What can you hear? I can hear the seagulls when they're flying near. And then encourage your child to listen to the sounds that are overhead and talk about the fact that these are land gulls, but there are some that are at the seaside. If you're good at arts and crafts, you could always make some seagulls at home out of card. One of my friends drew this for me, which I'm not very good at. They doubled the card over first so that if you actually open it up, you can move it up and down as you sing. What can you hear? What can you hear? I can hear the seagulls when they're flying near. And we can use our voices to imitate the seagull sounds, going ah, 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 ah. So if you're really crafty, you could put some feathers on, glue and stick feathers on. You could colour it in. You could even put some string on them. And if you've got lots of them, you could make a mobile and fly them overhead as you sing. What can you hear? What can you hear? I can hear the seagulls when they're flying near. Ah, 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 ah. So you could encourage the children to hold the mobiles and lift it up high so that they know that seagulls would be flying above their heads. You can encourage them to use their voices and vocalise. So even if they're not verbal, they can join in with it. Ah, 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 ah. And it's really, really good as well if you've got Finding Nemo. You can put it on YouTube and there's a little section that all the seagulls are going, mine, 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 as they're searching for the food and they all want the first bit. So you could all pretend to be seagulls and put some things down on the floor and make the sounds, mine, 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 mine. See who can get them first. In order to make sounds with the voice, we need to use air. So we could use some instruments that are blowing, and these don't have to be proper instruments. They can be toy instruments, they can be whistles that you found in crackers, and you could have it as a turn-taking activity so that the children listen to you singing. What can you hear? What can you hear? I can hear the seagulls when they're flying near. And then whatever sound they've got, whether it's an ocarina, a whistle out of a cracker, kazoo, even the top of a recorder. Something to encourage them to blow, and it's developing their tongue and muscles in the face as well. And it's a turn-taking activity, so they listen and then it's their turn to make the sounds. Finally, if your children have difficulty making vocal sounds or you want them to explore some technology, I've just gone onto the iPad, so it's a bit difficult to see. Put in YouTube and put in seagull sounds, and they could join in with the seagull sounds on there. So again, they've got to wait for the "What can you hear? I can hear the seagulls when they're flying near." And then they touch to make the sound. Or some of you may even have the Big Mac switches so that you could record this sound onto it, or you could record your voice. So have fun, and you could even sort of like go into the garden and change the words so it's "What can you hear? What can you hear? Sitting in the garden, what is flying near?" And you could look at and listen to the different birds there in the garden if it's a nice day. So have fun and enjoy whatever you're doing.